In college, there were plenty of lessons that were art-related that also influenced the store. She was talking about how she liked to paint with every color everywhere. Like a novice mistake is if you have a red fire truck, you make it all red, and then you have a green tree and it's all green. So that's like beginner stuff. And then you look at the greats and they'll have, there'll be green in that red fire truck, there'll be red in that green tree, there'll be every color everywhere, not necessarily in equal order, but still you would use a little bit of everything. In a lot of ways, the store uses a little bit of everything. There's kind of everything everywhere, but it is also, organized. That's why it's called Planet Fun, not Planet something very specific. Most of my interests just spring from arrested adolescence and immaturity. I would get toys on my birthday or Christmas, or occasionally a souvenir. Souvenir was one of my favorite terms when I was a kid because I could goad my mom into buying me something like, oh, I need to remember our trip to Niagara Falls, I need a souvenir. I remember my trips better because of the weird little tchotchkes I would get on them. I had a lot of fun playing with my toys and my video games and whatever as a kid, and that just carried over into adulthood. I was a SCAD student at one point. I came in thinking I would do video game design, and then I took one look at the program and I was like, oh, I do not like computers this much. So I switched over to animation. One of the important lessons of SCAD, aside from every color everywhere, is maybe I was not quite as talented as art as some of my peers. And I was plotting out the path through my life of like what I would do if I graduated with this degree and like how I would get my career in the animation field. And it seemed like I was probably more suited to be like a producer or some sort of a cog, really. Like I might not be the next Ub Iwerks. I might be the next art director. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do that. So my passion for that field just sort of eventually trickled away, I suppose. And I never ended up working in the field, but it did help me discover the city. So going up and down the street, I was like, why isn't there a store like this? It sort of grew from a store that I loved when I was a kid called Big Fun, which was in Cleveland. And Big Fun, they were more about like jokes and gags, like traditional toys. That store was important to me not just because, it had a bunch of fun stuff, but it was a fun place to go with my family. Like I was able to bond with my dad going to Big Fun. I didn't immediately just like get out of SCAD and say, I want to open a store instead. Because I went back to work at Big Fun for a while, and, I had a good time doing that, but I was kind of stuck in a holding pattern. My tenure at Big Fun didn't end particularly well. I ended up quitting, and that was, that was a little risky, because I figured I would open a store, my own darn store, but, I didn't have a spot lined up or anything like that. I didn't have a safety net there. It was a rocky road getting there. You go where the passion is so you can have a better shot at success, and two, to just enjoy your work a little bit more. It's something I try to have in this place. And most of the things in it are, they sort of grew from that seed. When we first opened, we didn't open in this spot. We opened just down the street where Ben & Jerry's is now, and it was a much smaller space. That first summer was relatively bleak, and that first winter was relatively bleak, too. There was a mom and her little daughter, and the little daughter's like, ooh, I want to go in there, because she probably saw, a Pikachu plush in the window or something. And the mom was like, oh, that looks like kind of a junk store, and she, dragged her away. I was like, ooh, kind of a junk store, I don't like that. So I'm always trying to not be a junk store. That was quite an effort to get it into even sort of decent looking. I wouldn't even say it was that good looking. The actual making of that store was a long process, longer than I thought it would be. It was months. Eventually, we just opened because I was like, I'm running out of money. I can't not be open. So one day at like 2:30 in the afternoon, I was just like, oh, we're open. And that was June 1st of 2011. I knew that a lot of my friends that I went to school with, 6 years previous or whatever that was, them or their ilk would be totally into it, but I wasn't certain, would tourists like it? Would locals like it? It took a while to even make enough money to hire someone. It was just me and my girlfriend that were running the whole thing for at least a year. We need to make it through the summer, and they'll be back, and then we'll float, and we'll be able to actually stay alive. It was an interesting journey opening up that first store, and then this one we opened in, I always forget the exact date, but we moved in, I think it was 2014. We didn't even have to do much to this space. It was just so huge comparatively. I had employees. It wasn't just me and my friends. There's a lot of people that were willing to help. We even had some good customers that decided to come by and help out. Well, the original store, that was a semi-reflection of me. I would say I was probably the driving factor there. But at this point, it's more of a reflection of the whole team. My actual hands-on fiddling with stuff is a small portion of it now. It's also interesting to see people's families grow up. We've had several cute little kids that are now teenagers. It freaks me out. So that's fun, feeling like you're a little bit a part of the family dynamic there. When I was a SCAD student, this is the store that I wish was here. So hopefully that I've been able to make a place like that that'll have some memories for families here. And from some of the feedback, it sounds like I have, so that's pretty cool.
At least when it comes to coming into the store, I love that it brings back memories I didn't realize I didn't have that came back to me,
I love the aesthetic of the store. It gives me very much retro vibe. I know if my mom went here, she'd love it because she loves D&D. And my dad, he really likes looking at the action figures because that's what he played with as a kid.
We have one customer, his name's Charlie. Charlie has been coming to the store since when it first opened. He was a kid then, and I got to meet Charlie when I first started here, and he's always in, usually on the weekends, and he feels like a longtime friend now. It's been nice to be able to see him grow up.
In my life, certainly I've been in spots that I didn't want to be at. When I was a teenager, I used to landscape. I used to cut yards, and there's nothing, super creative about that, but I still, had a fun time doing it, and I, managed to find a little joy in getting those perfectly straight lines and stuff like that. I'm glad I chose the path that I did, because that seems like I have probably reached more people by making this store than if I had, been an in-betweener on the Trolls movie or something.